Today is the 6th of February 2025, according to the Gregorian calendar. And it's also the International Day of Zero Tolerance for Female Genital Mutilation, FGM. But I want to take this opportunity to talk about female circumcision. Before I do that, let me make a disclaimer. If you are triggered by the topic of female circumcision or you feel enraged by the idea of people supporting female circumcision, I kindly ask you to continue scrolling. But if you're interested in finding out the other side of the story, because we've heard so much about the side that is anti-this, anti-FGM, zero tolerance for this, and FGM and mutilation and all that. But we've not heard it from the people that actually invented this particular practice. Not always interested in female circumcision. It was just something that was out there, that it just did not affect me. It didn't trigger any sort of anything in me. But then my curiosity was struck one time when I was watching a street debate from the Deutsche Welle, that is DW, debate that had been organized in Narok, Kenya. And there were all these panelists, a few women that have gone through the FGM and are against it. And then there was specialists, sexologists, this Ministry of Health, that, and all these people, an NGO there, who are there to give some kind of authority about this practice. But then there was one Indigenous woman that was for. Everybody else was against. But this woman stood alone for the female circumcision. And that really stood out to me because, first of all, she's Indigenous, she's elderly. And when I talk about Indigenous, I want you to understand it's just as about somebody wearing clothing. And, this is a woman that didn't even speak English. May her soul rest in peace. She did not speak English. She does not speak Swahili. She's as Indigenous as it gets, right? That if she's not speaking Swahili, she's not speaking English, it tells you that she has not been in this westernization that we have all gone through. I was struck by the fact that her body language, she seemed very proud. She said with so much pride that she actually tricked her daughters into getting circumcised. And I was like, why is she so prideful about it? And for me, she was the authority in the matters of circumcision, because this is a woman that has existed in a community that practiced and invented and practiced this circumcision. And also because she's elderly, she's coming from a time we were not. And so for me, I was like, she is the authority in this whole panelist. But I felt like people did not really listen to her. It was about condemning the practice. But I noticed that she was very proud about having secured that initiation for her daughters despite the criminalization. And one thing that really struck me is that she asked the moderator, the journalist that was moderating, she asked her, why have you believed lies? I was like, why does this authority think that we have believed lies? Why does she think we have believed lies? Why are we not listening to her? And so for me, I started thinking there's something I don't know. There is a side of this story that I've not heard about. That's when my curiosity began. I had been going through a process of indigenizing myself and getting to find out who I am. And to know who I am, I had to really learn about my culture and to really go back into my culture and practice it. And I came across a woman that now was in a different setting. She was, again, the expert in terms of culture. She is an Indigenous a Kamba indigenous woman, elderly woman. And when I talk about elderly, from an African perspective, age is not something you get because time has passed. Age is something you get because you have qualified. The aging is so respected because for you to become a certain age, you literally qualify. So when I talk about an elderly woman, I'm talking about an expert. I'm talking about a respectable person, an authority, right? So this is an elderly Kamba indigenous woman, again, who does not speak any English, does not speak any Swahili. That shows you that she is as indigenous as it gets. And this woman is in a setting, unlike the other setting, which was it was about fighting the circumcision and fighting the culture. This was a different forum where these Kamba young people, we are sitting under the authority of elderly Kamba indigenous men and women, and we are listening to them to understand who we are and to try and get out of our culture the best that we can. And this woman said some really shocking things. The fact that she doesn't understand why we have rejected and thrown away solutions, gynecological solutions that they came up with and have been practiced for thousands of years. And we have thrown them away and have gone back to problems that they already solved. That the little problems of, yeast infection there, these are problems that they eradicated amongst women. But now we are running to pharmacies and buying this and that to treat things that they already eradicated. And she's like, why have you gone backwards? She literally talked about the knowledge that they had that we have completely lost. The knowledge of cesarean section. This woman, she talks about how the women used to do cesarean. We know about these Kamba people because we have people called Ndemwa Mutemi, showing that these are children that have been born out of being cut as a cesarean. They were incubating babies. They had incubators and incubating premature babies. They used to treat infertility. They are like, we people have gone backwards. We are literally watching you go backwards. And for me, I was like, I had never known that the female circumcision to be a solution, a gynecological solution for problems that we are grappling with. And then there is this other woman, Dr. Tatu Kamau. This is a physician, a Kikuyu woman who is a physician that actually petitioned, took a constitutional petition against the prohibition of the female, the so-called FGM Act of 2021. And she said that it was unconstitutional. It is infringing on gender equality. Why is this being prohibited for women and not men? It denies women of their right to health. It is denying women of right to cultural expression. She spent time treating women from a community that was largely doing whatever they call the third degree FGM. And she said she never saw any adverse effects. She says it was actually when I worked in a rural setting with literally 90% of type 3 prevalence in 1994 that I woke up to the reality of the blatant distortion of the facts about female circumcision. I want us to wake up as African women and really investigate for ourselves and tell the story as ourselves. Tell the other side of the story.